He's only got 2 big blinds and he's got a flush draw, but yeah, you can see that he's like, really?
Like,
Show me and bluff, please.
curious.
You lose your mind.
No. Show me
I love that. He said, show me your bluff. And he said, I can't bluff. Have you lost your mind?
What are you saying now?
to my friend outside. Why?
Oh no.
Wow, wow, wow.
Far from cool. What a wildly improbable card.
What's up, poker fans? Welcome back to another Black Cash Poker video, where we bring you the best highlights and moments of the most entertaining poker events. Before getting into it, we would like to ask you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy our videos, as your support is allowing us to continue posting videos consistently.
Good evening from the Merit Crystal Cove Hotel and Casino, home to Merit Poker and home to the 2023 Merit Western Poker Series, which tonight comes to a close. It is time for the final table of our high roller event.
Very good. Well, look, as we see there at the top, Osman Ilamour, 78 big blinds, 3.9 million. He is very much in pole position. Tony Kakua, 2.7 million there, 54 bigs. And Fausto Tantillo, 46 bigs, 2.28 million. We have 3 middly stacks, and we've kind of got 3 short stacks as well. That sets up a very interesting ICM dynamic.
So there is here with the ace-3 suited under the gun. And immediately another tricky spot for the Romanian. He's got, less than 10 bigs, so he figured he didn't have much fold equity, and 7's in mid-position. Didn't feel great.
Yeah, this is the beautiful way these bigger stacks can exploit the shorter ones with these opens with the ace-x blockers.
Yeah, he does call. There's the jack and gut shot for the ace-3. And also it looks a fairly safe board. You generally wouldn't worry too much about the 4 and the deuce. So there's really only the jack the guy probably has hit.
See if it will get the job done right now. Servicing as an equity denier. Charging some draws as well occasionally. But of course Kakua sticking around here with the king jack, as he may well do across 3 streets. Certainly not going to get that job done on this street. In it being balanced, a reasonably wide range here. Plenty of bluffs to go with his value. Plenty of hands he can target, obviously, to get folds here.
Yeah, I think the call is fairly standard. Most of the value of a hand like king jack on a jack high board comes from bluff catching. Just getting a safe run out and allowing your opponent to keep barreling.
Well, Kontouche almost has a pot size remaining. Does he decide this is the spot? He obviously blocks ace-jack, which is a good one to block. Turn calling range that would fold river here. Maybe jack-8. Jack-7 wouldn't love life right now. Maybe the king-jack and queen-jack have to find calls.
Yeah, this is about as good as runouts get, and it's slightly helpful too that we're blocking king-queen.
Well, he doesn't go really big in the end. He actually chooses a half-pot sizing. That range is obviously not allowed to contain quite as many bluffs. Dara, do you think that will be a
How much one?
factor Kakua considers? Obviously the counterpoint being it's just cheaper to call.
He is barely moving. You can see his eyelids flickering. That's about it. It's a horrible spot for Kakua, because you really only are beating a bluff, and every better hand can value bet. Even ace-jack can value bet this size.
He does make the call, and Kontouche lets out a disappointed exhale there. Dara, you sort of lent into the theory side of it and felt like it couldn't be a fold in theory, but do you imbibe a Red Bull? I don't know what you do. You shoot a Red Bull, probably.
Yeah.
Count, please.
Kontouche, well, he needed a spot there after that unfortunate hand in hand 3, where he fired that triple barrel. He also had to have the blinds go through him. He shoves the ace-8 and has been looked up by Kovalchuk with the ace-jack. Kontouche at risk here and in danger of a very disappointing final table, it must be said.
Step just didn't work out for him. He's going to have to get lucky here. Not a backdoors though, but that is absolutely no use to him. He's down to just the 3 remaining 8s. And we lose our first player.
That is it. We say goodbye to Kontouche in 2019. He came 3rd in the WPT Sochi main event. He is not going to, unfortunately for him.
Ooh, having just raised folded the last hand, what a great time to pick up aces.
And showed the ducks as
and
well.
and gone for the exact same sizing as well.
Oh, Tantillo could be.
Love this. Yeah, Tantillo could be in trouble here.
Temptioed.
Yeah, and he played quite a bit with Cristoforo too, and would maybe have gone back to his room and found out that that time he raised folded the ace 10.
Having a big raise fold range, but yeah, players behind.
Yeah, I think against a normal player this is a fold, but against Cristoforo you couldn't blame him at all.
Well, you called it, Dara. He's bumped it up to 410.
Yeah.
That will probably clear out button and blinds unless they wake up with something really serious, and they have. Elam Moore. Oh, did he give them back? Oh, can we check the cameras there? Is it the same two tens? Pocket tens last hand, pocket tens this hand. Well, he was up against the ducks before. He's.
Yeah, you don't love tens here at all, but I mean, it is what it is. He's got.
Just committing against both players here. And Cristoforo, no need to take any time over this one.
Now probably Tantillo gets away.
Yeah.
He's again. Look, he's lucky there because he was definitely going to have to call off Cristoforo, but the fact that Elamore woke up with tens behind.
So far, so good.
It's huge, and it's the guy I identified as the danger man who's going to benefit here.
Cristoforo does the hold. Elamore started with a big chip lead, 4 million-ish, is now down to just 1.9. And that man center screen, Cristoforo under the gun this time. Well, he hasn't found a hand he didn't like to open for quite some time. He likes the Queen 10 as well. And yeah, very much in, I feel like I can run over the table mode. Amor, who obviously came into this, make life tough for these guys who want to defend liberally in the big, realize their equity. Does make the call, just 2 bigs behind. And we see there Elamor, well, he will have had some designs on outplaying Cristoforo on certain boards.
Yeah, he keeps flopping just almost no equity with his hand, but give yourself the chance for it to go check, 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 and keep yourself alive in the scenarios where you miss the river.
Indeed. Well, it feels like Cristoforo, having checked that flop, will definitely take a stab on an ace here. But as we see there, Elamor playing possum, just checking back the ace-jack, top pair, top kicker on the flop, and now has improved to top 2 pair. Yeah, we know Elamor is at least calling. Ross probably raising.
Yeah, the problem is his flush draw has to be good always, and it won't be good always. Sometimes he'll be up against a higher flush draw. Sometimes he'll be up against a house and already dead. But yeah, so this is a much trickier spot than it looks. He's only got 2 big blinds and he's got a flush draw. But yeah, you can see that he's like, really?
It's like, why
I'm getting the price, but how he has to actually sit there and work out a couple of things now. How often am I up against a higher flush? How often am I already dead to a house? No, but he probably doesn't. Like if he's up against like ace king and a flush draw. Yeah, it might seem weird that he folded a flush draw.
With a flush draw.
No, ace king with no flush draw and something like king queen with the flush draw.
It's a funky one from Cristoforo. Obviously, he's not getting involved here with the Queen 10, but if he was sitting there with a hand like
Show me the bluff, please.
ace queen, you would be wondering why your opponent had shoved in this situation. Be a little curious.
You lose your mind.
I love that. He said, show me your bluff. And he said, I can't bluff. Have you lost your mind? He can't be bluffing in that spot. And that's probably true because of ICM.
It's not a 5-10 cash game. Show me a bluff.
He folded an ace. Huh? Very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think
I didn't have an ace.
Cristoforo,
You can beat an ace. You could beat an ace.
he doesn't want to give up anything. Cristoforo probing, though, to figure out what would raise in that spot. I am in agreement there. I do think it's a kind of a curious
Me? No.
line.
Yeah. An ace doesn't need to raise for protection.
I
So
couldn't beat an jack. I'm honest, but you don't say me what you have. You ask me, but you don't say.
You asked me and I told you.
Okay. I believe that.
I feel like Kolotyuk might be a McLean
good
Carr lookalike.
I wasn't losing all in.
Yeah,
What percentage of our chat do you think knows what
much?
McLean Carr even looks like?
think I don't
WPT
have to
Bay
listen
101
like that,
champion
I
McLean
didn't see.
Carr.
Okay. Everybody in the chat who
Huh?
knows what McLean Carr looks like without Googling,
How much?
tell us in the
I
chat.
didn't see, really.
Christopher, well, he's all talk right now. He is the table captain, and now he's looked down at pocket aces from the big blind. Poor old
65.
Blebia, he's tossed in
Let's
his
see
two
together.
bigs with King Jack.
Oh,
He hasn't looked at. He just he didn't. He called without looking. Turned them over one at a time.
King there. King ball. He's now,
stop. Yeah,
which is about what he was before
pick shot card,
flop.
pick shot card, one pick shot. One pick shot card, on the river, on the river.
I think it's not good.
I'm wishing you a pick shot card on the river.
Only king.
No picture card on the river. We lose Plebea.
Guys.
Keep it, this, keep it.
Yeah, Blabea very much lost the battle of the players trying to outlast one another for the ladder jumps there at the end. Busts out in 8th place. Pocket queens for Muad. Well, one feels he will be very happy to go to war with this holding. Probably opening up for the 2.25x again, and well, maybe just maybe his image is worsening in the eyes of his
Yeah,
opponents.
now people are starting to think maybe Grandpa's woken up and he's starting to take the piss. he's had his tablets. He's had his night nurse. Oh no, night nurse makes you
No,
asleep,
no,
doesn't it?
yeah.
It's the other one. The pink pills.
I was going to say the Viagra.
Yeah.
Oh, Tantio in big trouble here.
Yeah.
Is there any world where he finds a flat out of the big Dara?
There is,
he
yeah.
might.
There is, yeah.
It's
He
exactly the two kind of stacks interacting with one another
might.
where he should.
No, he does. Quick flat, love this.
This
That's
is
good
from
ICM
Tantio.
awareness, yeah.
Yeah, very good.
I used to watch it when I was
There are
little,
still
but
some
not
boards that will
anymore.
cost him.
Like this
That
one.
is one of them.
This is the safest looking board imaginable.
Muad may come with a larger sizing too.
You do?
Interesting to see what
like it too much.
he will be
Have
faced
you
with.
ever
Looks
got
like
a
he's going to
forward?
go 200.
No, love his sizing.
I love
here.
this sizing. I
Even
love
his
this sizing.
sizing. His sizing is good. His
Where
seat
do
bets
you
are good. Everything is good
Where
about
I'm
this
live?
guy.
He's obviously going to come with a call.
Yeah, raising you just.
He has raised 480. I don't like this, Dara.
No, I don't like.
Sort
this.
of
This
a
seems
working as an
unacceptable.
informational one. If he gets raised over the top by Muad, he might just decide, well, that's kind of what I went for against this guy. I
Yeah.
went for the old school trappy. Well, look, I suppose the logic here is that there will be some 2x.
We used to have
And,
mean, if you-
and there's no point in scaring away.
Yeah,
the guy.
yeah. Well, the 2x you're going broke against it anyway. But there's no point in commas protecting your hand.
Now there's no one.
Most of the bluffs are very low equity.
Absolutely, I love that flat. Okay, that's a bit of an action killer, perhaps.
Yeah, you can see his eyes are immediately on. That's one of the two cards he didn't want to see.
7s, 8s, 9s. But I don't see the point of betting against us. And he is going to bet. This is very strange. It's sort of a blocker-ish sizing. He's gone
Yeah.
for
This
something around 14%.
Dan Harrington had a good name for this type of bet too. He used to call it the "Let's keep it friendly" bet.
It's obviously going nowhere here with the queens. Won't be loving life right now either. Obviously, that king
No.
is going to be upsetting
Now I
him.
wonder if Taltio will figure out that he's behind now and he has to bluff. Yeah.
Tantio looking at another overcard to his 10s.
This is the problem with the check raise as well with this type of hand. Often players feel compelled to keep the betting lead.
Do you like bet one big blind maybe sometimes here?
Yeah, he's gone for the check.
He has checks. And
Muad
Muad happy
checks.
to get the showdown
Yeah.
at this point. Well, he is a cool customer, this Muad. Now, Kaukwa, who's not really using his chip lead to stomp everyone else, so it'll be interesting to see if he decides to up the aggression at any point. Illamore had just 3 big blinds. He was obviously our chip leader going into this final table. 3 big blinds just about 5 hands ago. Got the double up and has got a couple of shoves through since. Obviously trying to get another one through right now.
Yeah, tremendous roller coaster that he's had to ride, and this is a slightly awkward spot perhaps with these new blinds of 60 and 120,000 for Kakua from the...
But with everyone relatively short, it actually becomes a bit of an ICM nightmare, and then hands like King Jack suited don't tend to play as well against the shoving range.
Nevertheless, the fin is jamming over the top, and that will provide the King-Queen some insulation, but obviously the wounds here are going to be self-inflicted if they are ultimately suffered by the fin, Kakua, who really press this king jack suited and winds up in a bad way as you see the equities heading to the flop. Can Ihlamur continue to ascend? Certainly looks that way for the time being as he has flopped second pair on an ace-high board, but of course, the Broadway draw looms. No 10 on the turn, and that, of course, is the only card that would spell disaster for the Turk. Can he fade the 4 outer and double yet again? Oh my God!
Oh la la.
Çok hızlı gönderiyorsunuz buraya ya.
Well, a nightmare final table for Ihlamur. That was his moment to get right back in the mix. You said self-inflicted wound for Kaukua. It did look for a moment like it was going to be one.
If you guys would like to see more final table highlights from the biggest events in the world, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications, as we do our best to provide highlights on a weekly basis. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the video.
Whether or not we're wondering if he has an Emirates sponsorship. They do fly nonstop to Larnaca from Dubai. Healthier than average, the jam size here.
Oh,
he's run into it.
Ustamov not going anywhere here. Like, you don't love calling it off, but
Ace-queen suited is too much kit here to put into the muck. And I think Ustamov does have that sort of like a little bit of that winner's mentality. He kind of understands, I'm not here to just whittle the entire time. I'm going to have to take a chance at some point. And especially against the hyperactive Christoforou, this hand just rates to do so well.
the power of getting it in first, ladies and gents. That doesn't want to raise fold, particularly with his image, or some kind of suited, potentially very live cards like Jack 10 suited, King 10 suited, King Jack suited, that kind of stuff. He does let it go. Wow, that's a huge fold.
Huh?
Huge fold.
Better. Nines?
You can show actually.
If you don't show, I will not show.
Upstairs with ace-3 goes the chip leader. Blinds at 80 and 160. Stratospheric, truly. 2 kings for Tantilo. This is all a man can dream of when sitting on crumbs.
Yeah, it's just called, so he is willing to take a chance here. Obviously knows Kaukua will have it.
And mind you, Kaukua is going to have, you know, kind of some real attention paid to the fact that Fausto was just willing to defend as opposed to jam.
They're happy to run it. But I think he did realize that maybe, just maybe, there was some raised folds, because these guys are finding raised folds off incredibly shallow stacks right now.
Yeah.
And he wants that C-bet. That 160 is the extra he was looking for.
Sure. Anxious moments for ace-3 offsuit, obviously. Really a nothing burger on this board. And another call from Fausto, and this is really cool. The defend, the check call. Oh no!
Wow. Wow.
Far from cool is the ace of clubs on the turn. What a wildly improbable card. The ace of hearts, of course, would have been no good, so it's truly just a 2-outer to pull into the lead. Labanese made this big investment thus far, defending the big and check calling the C-bet. He's got 530 behind, and now Kaukua's jamming.
He's calling because he knows that it's a good card to represent, even if the man doesn't have it.
Without the King of Hearts, it's a different calculus. With the King of Hearts, obviously, we've got a call. One to come for his tournament life. Oh. The Queen of Clubs isn't going to help him, and that is a hand that haunts.
Rough justice.
Come on, Bobby.
And his departure and 34,500 that goes with him will leave behind 5 players and a 43K payday. A tidy little jump. 8,500.
He's giving this real consideration. He'll get more credit than a hand like 10 Jack here.
Oh, 100%.
What do you count, please?
Oh, but it doesn't matter how much credit is being given. Ustamov with 2 9s off of 6-10, David. It would seem You know, there's so many tables in which we would think, oh, yeah, foregone conclusion. But the climate out there, you know, this is the guy that folded ace-queen suited to, of all people, Christoforou. So perhaps even 2 nines to a guy who has a much tighter rep like Muad finds the muck.
Yeah, it's just too good, and he knows he has to do it, but he knows he doesn't love it. And even against probably the worst hand that Muad would have gone with.
I hope you both bust, I think was really what was being said. Now look at this flop. An open ender against middle set. Ustamov flashing a smile, but it's one that could be wiped off his face real quick if an 8 or a king surface. Turn card is a 4. It is safe. Now, Muad. The good news is he has Ustamov covered. The bad news is he has only 8 outs. Oh my God.
Wow. Wow. Ustamov, I was just preparing what an extraordinarily patient game he's played. He's tripled up off 3 bigs twice. He's doubled up off 4 bigs once, and he's about to double up off 4 bigs again. But no, that's not the tail. Turning them suddenly into the short stack.
Pocket threes are jamming.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a customer here. Ace, jack suited, but what sort of customer is it, David? Jam?
Yeah.
Over the top?
Yeah, for sure. No, and it's just too much of the remaining stacks of the guys behind, so.
10-8 and jack 10 promptly find the muck, and Muad will take a spin. To the flop we go. An ace in the window. A tragic development for the pocket threes. Ooh, that was in the neighborhood. Is it there? Ooh. No. And officially now, Joseph Muad is out.
Our chip leader, Kaukwa, has run tremendously well at Showdown, no question. But he is also, in a tippy-tappy, subtle way, manufactured a situation where at every bust out, his opponents seem to all have 10 big blinds. And he's the one who has increased his stack.
Pocket threes are what led to Muad meeting his maker, and might they be what undoes Kolotiuk here? He would appear to have Christoforou covered. I'm not sure, though. The 100,000 in the small blinds already in there, so it truly is neck and neck.
Tell me exactly, please. What
are you saying now? What are you saying now?
To my friend outside. Why?
Because I want to know what are you saying now.
2 million to I told him
10 big blinds.
He's line gambling now.
10 big blinds, 3-handed. Christoforou going to take the bull by the horns. That's what he's done all day. Oh, would you believe it?
Pocket eights. It could all be over right here, potentially. Count being requested for Kaukwa.
Crucially here, Kolotiuk has just half a small blind more.
Yeah, which would put him in second in the event that this event draws to a close here and now.
That's massive. That's a massive factor when you think of all the bets that have gone in, all the continuation bets earlier on, all the little small bets that we've seen.
And it's worth $42,000 in pay money.
That's pretty sick if that's how things end right now this minute. Oh, he lets it go.
He folds.
Well, when they showed up, he's going to be sick.
Oh, my God.
What a difference for Christoforou. Had he gone up against the eights, lost, and the eights did a hold, he would have come third. And Kolotiuk, even with the worst hand, with that half a big blind difference, would have come second. Now instead, Christoforou could double up to a very dangerous 4.7 million in a heads-up confrontation.
What an incredible turn of events that fold is, as neither of these pocket pairs hit a set call.
No.
Neither player has a spade. Is it there? No. And Christoforou is going to double through Kolotiuk and leave him with vapors.
Small blind is in there. Side pot is 200k this time. Kolotiuk all in once again for his 50k. Not even one big. And Kaukua just going to torture Christoforou
I like
again.
the style.
Sort of begrudging respect, I think, there from Christoforou, who does know what's going on now and does feel as though, okay, he's up against an opponent who understands he finds himself on can just end. Well, it may end now.
No king.
Could also do right away.
No king. No king.
And Kaladiuk resigned to his fate.
Let's see.
Let's see it first. No one's going to fall for that one, Ali.
Good game.
Handshakes delivered by the Russian cowboy, who ultimately knew that the task was great for him to climb back into contention. And Tony Kaukua is going to be required at some point, we might presume, although TBD just how shallow he needs to be before he's triggered.
Yeah, I feel like the risk reward off these, 10 bigs or so do mean that shoving is absolutely fine. In fact, you can see really big shoves. If these guys even had 25 bigs, that wouldn't be outrageous with some kinds of holdings. Pre-flop any more game. Well, look at this.
Dynamite flop here for the deuce four suited. For Christoforou, there's really nothing on the stovetop to speak of as he checks.
You want to go a large enough sizing here if you're Kaukua. Set up a...
Two.
It's gone 250. Float from Christoforou. End in tears.
Wow, a 7 on the turn, and suddenly this float turns into second pair. And unless he is giving Kaukua credit for a jack,
If called once more,
700.
probably blocking the straight draw and the flush draw as he does. Probably not in a particularly great spot to barrel river. He will be at the bottom of his range, obviously, with 4 high, but he will have an awkward sort of holding.
good chunk of equity. Obviously the benefit of position. So the 700 gets called, slid in, and now suddenly it's 7s and 8s. 8 of hearts would have been curtains.
Prophetic from Christoforou. I think we can release the 4 deuce in this spot.
Yeah, 4 high doesn't feel like it's got anywhere to go against the all-in. Ace 9.
I feel strongly like this might be getting in.
Well, we know that Christoforou definitely likes to 3-bet.
And there's nothing wrong with getting this in. He's just going to be unlucky to face a dominating situation. If these hands were reversed, you can be sure they'd go in as well.
Oh, yeah. Sure enough, he does make the jam. Kaukua will be pleased to get chips into the middle with the ace 9, and even more pleased once they're on their backs, as he is dominant.
Yep.
Jack 6 deuce, not good news. Dynamite turn card suddenly. 5 or club would do the trick. Can he hit? No, it's the 8 of diamonds on the river. Hometown hero.
Good game. Good game.
Congratulating.
Congratulations, Tony Kaukua, your Merit Western Poker Series High Roller champion.